Hello everyone, I'm Robert Zott, and this is your edition of FSU Weather. Right now, I'll have a quick live look at our conditions right now before we go into our program. So right now, it is currently 83 degrees and sunny outside. A beautiful look at Doak Campbell Stadium right now. A little bit warmer than normal, or not normal than yesterday, excuse me. But honestly, really nice conditions, 3-mile-per-hour winds. You can see these current local temps for the start of October looking pretty nice for us right now. 83 in Tallahassee, 79 in Thomasville, 81 in Valdosta. Honestly, not too bad for us right now. And why is it not too bad? Because you can see there's absolutely nothing on this radar. This little feature we have down here by the coast is a little bit of sea breeze down here. You can see it almost has a little bit of a sinuous shape looking at how it looks. But honestly, nothing too much to talk about for us. And you can see the only real feature for us right now is this stationary front down by Miami. So we're going to have a quick look at tonight's top stories. You can see Invest 91, is declared in Western Caribbean. Beautiful weather continues into the weekend, and rain chances return Sunday. So now we're going to toss it off to a quick intro and to us at the desk.
Yes, welcome to FSU Weather Thursday edition. I'm student meteorologist David Stoltz.
And I'm student meteorologist Robert Zott. Honestly, really nice conditions for us outside. A little bit unseasonable yesterday because we had a little bit in the way of drier air than we usually do have, but honestly, really nice conditions. We couldn't ask for much better right now to start off October.
Absolutely, it is beautiful weather out there. And today we had a little bit warmer temperatures because we do have an approaching dry front that has changed the winds out of the south, bringing a little bit of warmer air up from the south off the Gulf. But once that front goes through, we will be back into the 70s for highs.
Honestly, yeah, and I mean, it's really nice outside. Take this time to go outside, walk around Landis Green, downtown, whatever you can right now, because honestly, these conditions won't get any better right now as we approach into winter, of course. As you know, it will start to get on the colder side. But honestly, 70s, really dry in the 50 dew points right now. Honestly, we could have way worse conditions right now.
It's excellent conditions, good conditions for going to a football game.
Exactly.
As FSU will be playing against Jacksonville State here at Doak Campbell Stadium. So it would definitely be good weather for a football game.
Exactly, and I mean, a good weather for us to maybe have a win there. We'll see about that.
Hopefully, and looking for our first win of the season since we are 0-2.
Yeah, exactly. But honestly, not too bad for us right now. We're going to have a quick look at the conditions for our local area in about just a little bit. But honestly, right now, we're just looking at really not too much in the way. Just pretty dry conditions and looking pretty nice. So I will head over to the wall, and it's looking really nice for us. And talking about this niceness, we're looking at 83 degrees right now. 83 degrees and sunny, wind from the north-northeast at 3 miles per hour. Honestly, like I'm saying, not a cloud in the sky. You can see just this big sun we have right here right now. So it is baking us just a little bit, but honestly, not too bad. Go look at these current local temps. You can see, like I'm talking about, we have just right now at 6 p.m. in the low 80s, even 78 down by Apalachicola. But honestly, nothing too bad to talk about. 81 in Valdosta, nothing much for us. And you can see on this radar, like I was saying, we have this sea breeze down here. That's basically the weather story of tonight because we have nothing else going on. Well, all this rain, or not rain, excuse me, what looks like rain is ground clutter. It's just a feature of the radar. Nothing too much to get concerned about. There is no rain in the area and no clouds for us right now. So let's have a look at this future radar. You can see a few high clouds coming into the area around maybe the coast from St. Mark's down to Apalachicola, but nothing too bad to worry about for us. You can see, like I'm saying, it's going to be even clearer conditions for us right now by Friday at 6 p.m. So not too much to talk about, to be quite honest. Looking at tonight's lows, you can see that we are in the 60s. So a really nice night if you're going to be walking out around maybe Landis Green or just enjoying this nice weather we have right now. You can see 65 Carabel, 60 in Thomasville, 62 in Valdosta, and 62 in Perry. So honestly, not a bad night to talk about. Maybe a few clouds as we get down by the coast, but nothing too terrible to talk about. Tomorrow, you can see that it's even a little cooler than today, so an even nicer day. 76 in Tallahassee, 76 in Valdosta. A lot of 70s from 75 to 77, so honestly, a really nice day for us at Friday at 5 p.m. tomorrow. You can see tonight, 58, mostly clear, maybe a few clouds for us, but not too much to talk about. The wind is going to be incredibly calm tonight, so again, just a really nice day to get outside tonight. Tomorrow's forecast, you can see it's going to be 76 degrees and mostly sunny. Again, maybe we'll see a cloud or two, maybe a high cloud come in or so, but no rain, nothing too much to talk about. Wind from the northeast, at 11 miles per hour. So let's have a look at the week ahead. You can see, honestly, it's a lot of the same except for Sunday. Friday, I'll start off with before as we go into the weekend. You can see Friday, it's going to be 76 with a low of 58. We're going to have a few clouds, and the same is basically going to be said for Saturday with a high of 77, a low of 54, basically a copycat of Friday. But as we go into Sunday, you can see there is a little bit of rain. We actually have a 50% chance of rain. 76 is our high and a low of 60. You can see, though, that doesn't really become our pattern, though, as we start to get into the rest of the week, where we see a lot of conditions that are basically the same. Highs in the 80s, clouds, but mostly sunny, so not too much to worry about. I'm going to pass it off to David for a quick look at the rest of our weather.
Yes, thank you, Robert. Hurricane season is still going on, and we have some activity now in the Caribbean, which we'll take a look at here. First, let's take a look at the names. We've gone through all the names for the Atlantic hurricane season, and we've gone through two of the Greek alphabet names, Alpha and Beta. And next one to be, if we have one named soon, it would be Gamma, and then if we have another one behind that, Delta would follow suit. So what's going on in the tropics? Here's a look at the Caribbean, and you can see there are two areas of concern here. We'll start with this area right here. We're just right below Puerto Rico. It's about a 20% chance of development as it moves off to the west-northwest. But the one that we are immediately concerned about, or should keep an eye on, not concerned, is this area right here, Invest 91L. It is located in the Western Caribbean, and it has about a 70% chance of development over the next 5 days as it moves to the west-northwest towards the Yucatan. We'll take a closer look, and you can see there's a lot of flare-up of showers and storms associated with it. It's not really organized, but there is a low here that has formed, and so if these showers and storms can get around this low, we could see a tropical system named over the next couple of days. And as far as where's it going? Well, climatologically, the storms do happen to come into the Gulf and make a right-hand turn here. However, the models are not in agreement right now, so there's different opinions amongst the models where the storm may go. It could come up here to the west coast of Florida, up towards Louisiana, or even across the Yucatan and towards Mexico. So it's just something to keep an eye on this weekend because it is going to form, something is going to form, but it's just something to keep an eye on as we go over the next few days. As far as this system here, it is very disorganized. There's a lot of convection with it, but it's not organized, so this is something that will be slower to develop and something to watch as time goes on. But right now, not an immediate threat. And over here, we have a hurricane in the Pacific Ocean. This is Hurricane Marie with winds of 75 miles per hour. It is moving off to the west in the general direction of Hawaii, but it will weaken as it gets closer to Hawaii because there is cooler air, cooler water in the Pacific Ocean in that direction. Right now, I'm going to hand it off to Robert at the desk.
All right, thank you, David, for that look at the tropics. You can see, I'm actually going to talk about what he was talking about with those models. You can see there's a lot of disagreement with those models as to where 91L will go. And that's sort of the point I wanted to get to, is because a lot of us like to focus on a specific model run. Maybe you'll see someone post something on Twitter, oh, look, there's this big hurricane going towards Tallahassee. Well, I just want to say that as we're going into, we passed the peak of hurricane season, but we still do have a full month of activity potentially ahead of us. And as David was talking about with these invests, maybe even some activity coming in the very near future. It's really important to remember that some models have their own biases, and each model tells an only small fraction of the story. A single model is not going to tell the entire conditions there. And obviously, as I'm sure many of you know, models are very inaccurate as the farther you go out. So honestly, it's important to remember that whenever you see anything online or anywhere about a model run or something maybe being a little bit dramatic or drastic, it's important to remember that some of these models do have their own biases. Each model tells a small part of the story, and models do not tell the full solution themselves. They have their own solutions, but many of them are often wrong very far out. Sometimes you see people, like I said, post these on Twitter and those kind of things. So what's important to remember is in these kind of times, when we do have a potential for these kind of events to happen that are forecasted by models, as many things in weather are, to maybe trust a local meteorologist that you know is trustworthy, knows their stuff, has a good degree in meteorology, and won't be scaremongering. Now, of course, it is always important to inform people of conditions that may be coming up, but it should never be a thing where you go out and sort of publicize a certain model run for a certain solution, because like I said, each has their biases. No model ever tells the exact full solution, so it's important to see it within the big picture. We like to look at trends, and I hope that you choose us for your trusted meteorologist, but any good reputable meteorologist at a broadcast station or with the National Weather Service does know their stuff, and they won't be scaremongering. So it's important to just sort of keep this in mind as you're looking into, as we go into hurricane season, as we go into maybe a sort of chance for heightened activity, or even for our friends in the north or in the west, as we start to get into winter weather season, and we start to see maybe these winter weather solutions coming out. It's always important to remember you have a trusted meteorologist, you trust them for your information, and you look and see that, oh, well, I'm understanding this within the big picture. I'm understanding that there are some things that may be different than others. So it's always important to understand things within the big picture, look at trends, not specific solutions, and that's my advice for tonight. Now we're going to pass it off to myself for the National. All right, now looking at this national radar out here, you can see there isn't a lot to talk about for most of us. There is a little bit of an upper-level low system up in Quebec that is affecting the weather up in the upper Midwest and the Great Lakes area. And as I go down to our southeast here, you can see we have a little bit of a cold front coming in that will affect our conditions just a little bit, but it'll be a little bit on the drier side. So we won't see too much in the way of any sort of severe weather or anything that you would expect with a cold front in this time of year. And then as we look towards our very, very far southeast, you can see Miami is still in the heat of that very, very, very precipitous, the stationary front there. So we're looking into that for those conditions. So you can see, like I was saying, we're looking at this radar. You can see at this upper level low, this very circular motion here around this upper level low up here. Chicago, Toronto seeing some rain, and Miami, you're seeing some more of that rain. But honestly, for most of the nation, as you can see, pretty dry conditions. So we'll look at this Miami situation here. You can see that there's a lot of rain in Cuba and in Miami along the stationary front. This stationary front will not move. It is stationary. It is going to stay there. You can see a lot of clouds around the stationary front. Maybe some even making their way up into Tampa and even Gainesville maybe, but not towards Tallahassee and then areas in the rest of the southeast. So we'll be looking specifically at some of these storms. You can see along the I-75 corridor, you have the Everglades. You can see that there are some stronger storms, not severe, but stronger, that are making their way up towards the I-75 corridor. And then some other ones on the I-95 corridor towards West Palm Beach in that area. Like I said, none of these storms are severe. It's nothing too terrible to watch about, but just sort of watch these storms. They might make your commute a little bit harder tonight. And then we're looking up towards Cleveland and Chicago, up towards the Rust area, and Rust Belt, excuse me. You can see that there's a lot of storms here. Not too much, like I said, in the severe activity that we're talking about here, but there are a lot of storms and some clouds. So again, things that might make your commute a little bit harder tonight in maybe Indiana, Ohio, maybe going up and towards Detroit, but nothing too terrible to talk about. And you can see there are a few storms trying to make their way into Washington from Canada, but we do have a quarantine here in the United States. We're not allowing any visitors in from Canada, so we do not have any of these storms making their way into Washington. You can see a few clouds, and on a serious note, a few clouds between Seattle and Spokane, Washington, but nothing too terrible to talk about on this sort of level of severe or anything like that. Again, it's a very inactive night for us here in the United States. So we're looking at this big picture here. You can see pretty nice conditions for most of us. 79 in DFW, my hometown. You can see 63 in Kansas City, 68 in Seattle, 69 in Billings, 83 in Tallahassee. So as you can see across most of the nation, except for, well, you can see in Phoenix, it's not doing too hot tonight. Well, actually, it's doing really hot tonight. But for most of us, not doing too bad. Look at these dew points. You can see for most of us, it's not bad. But you can see towards that area where we do have some of those fires, they are getting incredibly dry right now. So not really nice for them tonight. Well, quick look at your future radar before I toss it off to David. You can see that there are some of these storms. They're moving off towards the Atlantic, so not much for us to worry about. Some of the storm activity is still near Miami. Tonight's lows, it's going to be very temperate tonight in the 30s and 40s for most of the nation. And that's pretty much it for us on the national, besides looking at tomorrow's highs, which are very nice for us, except in Phoenix where it's 105 degrees. So on that note, I will toss it off to David for a look at some more weather.
Thank you, Robert. Let's take a look at look at Doak Campbell Stadium. Let's see if I can say that right. Currently, it's 83 degrees and sunny here in Tallahassee, as you can see from the live look here. And you see the sun behind the graphic there is going to set shortly. It's just another beautiful day here in Tallahassee. Hour by hour today, we started off at a low of 54 degrees, but things gradually warmed up until we got into the 80s. And currently it is 82 degrees, and it's just a mild day today. It was actually a really good day, and great day in the Panhandle here. The Sunshine State was living up to its name, for us at least, maybe not Miami. Current temperatures around the area, 81 degrees in Donaldsonville, Apalachicola 78, and here up in Valdosta is 81 degrees. So it's pretty much in the low 80s to upper 70s around the Big Bend area. Looking at the dew points, they are still on the low side, so it is comfortable out there. Dew point in Donaldsonville is 55. Thomasville, dew point of 55, in Valdosta 50, and here in Tallahassee, dew point is 53. Radar, really nothing on it. All you see, all this green here is ground clutter. There is clear skies here. There are some high clouds to the south associated with the stationary front, but as far as any kind of rain around the Big Bend area, there is none. This little squiggly line here that is sinuous, got a sinuous shape to it, is actually the sea breeze front, but there's no cloud cover with it. It's just moving in there from the Gulf inland a little bit, but no rain showers associated with it. We're going to zoom out here, regional radar. No rain to really speak about, just some ground clutter up here. There may be some showers and storms down here towards South Florida, along near Melbourne, and down south to Vero Beach and West Palm Beach. But that's about it on the radar for Florida. And what does our future look like as far as rain goes and cloud cover? Really not much. There's some high clouds coming through, as we do have a dry front that will be moving through early tomorrow and bring us reinforcing cool weather for the next couple of days, and things will slowly warm up next week. But for now, we'll enjoy the cool weather, especially for the football game. Tonight in Tally, expect a low about 58 degrees under mostly clear skies and calm winds. And tomorrow's forecast, 76 for a high here in Tallahassee under mostly sunny skies. A little bit of wind out of north-northeast at 11 miles per hour. And we're going to look at the week ahead. You see Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Beautiful football weather. And as we go into next week, temperatures will rebound into the low to mid-80s, but the weather will be fine. I'm going to hand it off now to myself as I go over to the desk to talk about hurricane season. And I'm back. Yes, hurricane season runs from June 1st to November 30th, but there have been some notable hurricanes in October. Those hurricanes, if you remember, not back too far, only 2 years ago, very notorious hurricane was Hurricane Michael that slammed the panhandle of Florida and did a lot of damage and stuff. And in 2016, we had Matthew that raked the east coast of Florida. Actually went through that when I was living in Orlando and experienced a little bit of that. And who can forget Superstorm Sandy back in 2012 that wreaked havoc on the east coast, New Jersey, New York, and up into New England. And one other storm, actually there's a few other storms that are notable, Wilma in 2005, Mitch in 1998, and Opal in 1995. So what's my point? Hurricane season is not over yet. October is known for a little peak. We had the peak in the beginning of September. There's actually another peak in the beginning of October. So we can't let our guard down yet. And we have, like we were saying in the show, there are 2 areas that we're watching in the Caribbean. So it's always good to not let your guard down until the hurricane season is completely over. And the next couple, actually this weekend into next week and the week after, it would be a good idea to still have your plan in place for a hurricane, as we are not done with the hurricane season yet. I'm going to hand it off now to Robert DeWall.
All right, here's a look at our southeast weather. And you can see that there is nothing going on for most of us all the way from Memphis to Atlanta to Tallahassee. There is that situation down in Miami right now where there is that stationary front that is still continuing to generate those storms down there. But honestly, not too bad to talk about for most of us in the southeast. Like I was talking about, you can see here in Miami, there are some storms by the I-75 corridor and the I-95 corridor, and then there are some storms also down by Cuba and Key West, but honestly, not too bad on these storms either because they are not severe. Just something that might make your commute a little bit on the hard side tonight. Looking at these storms specifically on the I-95 corridor from Port St. Lucie all the way down to Fort Lauderdale, you can see that these storms are a little bit on the stronger side. They might give you some frequent downpours, but nothing too terrible tonight for most people all the way from West Palm Beach to Naples. Looking at these current local temps, you can see it's 78 in Shreveport, 82 in Montgomery, 85 in New Orleans. So honestly, not too bad for the west side of the southeast. And if we go to the east side, you can see 76 in Charlotte, 76 in Charleston, 80 in Miami. So honestly, not a terrible night for us tonight. Could be a little bit on the cooler side. It's a little bit warmer than yesterday, but not terribly bad for us. You can see, looking at these dew points, you can see this dramatic situation here where we have one cold front and then two cold front down here. These two cold fronts that we have here right now, well, not cold fronts, sorry, because this one has transitioned into a stationary front, but we do have these two fronts here. This one is a drier one. As you can see, it's a very dry air behind this front, but nothing too terrible to talk about with this one. This one is a little bit more on the dicey side for the area down by Miami and Cuba and Key West, as I've already talked about, because we do have a lot of storms down there, but then again, nothing much for us tonight. Looking at these wind speeds, you can see most of them are off towards from the north to the south. You can see nothing too much for us around in Tallahassee, where we have a little bit of northerly flow, 3 miles per hour. These winds down by Tampa, Orlando, Miami are kind of following the stationary front. But you can see with all of these winds, there is basically nothing to talk about because almost all of them are below 10 miles per hour. Maybe a little bit windier in Atlanta and Birmingham, where it goes up to 14 and 16. So let's look at this future radar. You can see all these storms starting to, well, stay around for Miami and Fort Myers and West Palm Beach. You guys there are going to have a rainy situation for the next 24 to 48 hours. You can see some of these storms also getting out their way up into maybe Orlando and Tampa, maybe up towards Gainesville and Jacksonville. We'll have to see about that one. Us here in Tallahassee, however, we will stay pretty dry all the way into the weekend. Looking at tonight's lows, you can see for most of us here, we'll be in the 50s, 60 in Charleston, maybe down up to 67 in Tampa, and all the way down to 75 in Miami, or all the way up, excuse me. You can see for most of us, it will be in a very temperate 50s, though, and all the way down to Little Rock. I'm not getting my directions right tonight. You can see 48 in Little Rock, 54 in Shreveport, and 65 in New Orleans. So not too bad of a night tonight for most of us. I can say it's a pretty good night, too, if you want to walk your dog in the night. If you're that kind of person, you can go do that tonight. And Friday in the southeast, it's, well, pretty much kind of like today. It's a little bit on the cloudier side as you go towards Tallahassee and into Orlando, Tampa, and Miami. A little bit on the warmer side, but honestly, for most of us, not too bad. And I think that's pretty much it for us in the southeast here. I'm going to toss it back off to David.
Thank you, Robert. Yes, it is much cool weather here, and I take one more look at the local forecast for Tallahassee. That sun is setting here. Live look at Doak Campbell Stadium. Current temperature is 83 degrees under sunny skies, and we have a north-northeast wind at 3 miles per hour. How long will this weather last? Well, I hope it lasts through the weekend and next week and maybe for the next couple months, but, weather changes. So anyways, hour by hour, we started off at 54 degrees this morning, and we worked our way up to 79, 78, the whole way up to 83 degrees where we're at now. So what is it? Is it rain out there? Absolutely not. It was a beautiful day. No rain. This is all ground clutter. And we can see the image of a sea breeze front here as it's making its way north, but there's no rain associated with it. Don't worry, no showers are going to fall on you this evening. It is dry in northern Florida, just absolutely beautiful. But as we go down the peninsula, down towards South Florida, there are showers and storms associated with the stationary front, which is going to actually lift back north over the next couple of days. And I think it may give us a chance of rain on Sunday, but it's not going to stay around. So we don't have to worry about rain next week. It's going to be another beautiful week with highs in the 70s and low 80s. And here's our future radar, and absolutely nothing is clear. There are some high clouds moving up from the south associated with that stationary front that will try to kind of creep back up towards us, but it's not going to make it here probably. So anyways, dog walk forecast. I got 2 dogs myself, so it's going to be great weather tomorrow for dog walk. You can expect about a temperature about 62 at 9 a.m. And as it gets to noon, 72 and 3 o'clock, about 75 degrees. So it's beautiful. What are the highs going to be like tomorrow in the Big Bend area? Absolutely beautiful, of course. Valdosta, expect a high of 76 degrees. St. Mark's 77, Carabel 77, 78 in Apalachicola, and Tallahassee 76 degrees. It's going to be absolutely wonderful. And guess what? Saturday is game day as Florida State takes on Jacksonville State. And hopefully we'll get our first win because we are 0-2. But at kickoff time, it will be pleasant at 77 degrees. And 6 o'clock, about halftime, about 73. And then when you're walking out the gate cheering because we won, it'll be clear and 68 degrees. So what's it going to look like the week ahead? It's going to be beautiful, except for Sunday, about 50% chance of rain. But you can expect highs through the weekend in the upper 70s. Monday, it clears up again, maybe just some passing clouds, but a high of 80 on Monday. And as you go through the rest of the week, temperatures will moderate to about where they should be this time of year, in the low to mid 80s with lows in the at nighttime around the mid 60s. I'm now going to hand it off to Robert and myself to close the show at the desk.
Well, David, it's honestly a pretty boring weather night tonight, but I guess we were able to fill 30 minutes talking about it, so there must be something going on.
Absolutely, and we did get to talk about the hurricane season because it's not over, and there are systems out there to watch.
Exactly. There is still something to watch. I know a lot of us are like thinking, oh, well, September was a big month. We had a lot going on, but there isn't much going on anymore. But it's really important to keep your hurricane kits prepared. Think about the fact that this season still climatologically goes into November, and
Absolutely.
we are in an extremely active season. So if 2005 is any guide, we could see the season going way longer than we'd expect it to.
Absolutely. We are into the Greek alphabet already. And I don't recall what we got to in 2005, but we did get into the Greek alphabet then. Will we beat it this year? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I think it was actually Zeta that we got to, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
So that was about 6 storms in, if my math is serving me
Okay.
right now. So we are actually already 2 storms into the Greek alphabet. So we'll see if we can tie or maybe even go further into the alphabet. Not that that's a good thing, of course. I'm just saying for a climatological reason. We could have an extremely active hurricane season this time. So it is really important that even though it seems like it's a lull right now, we do have 2 systems are watching in the Atlantic right now. So it's important to remember to keep your hurricane kits prepared and to continue to watch the tropics.
Absolutely. Enjoy the weather for the next couple of days and next week as we're into autumn now. And those temperatures are very comfortable outside. And it makes it more comfortable to do yard work and walk the dog and everything. Remember to follow us on Twitter at twitter.com FSU Weather and also on Facebook.
Yep. And also remember to watch us on YouTube when we're going live. We'll be going live very soon. So make sure you go to youtube.com/FSU Weather and follow us on Instagram at FSU Weather. So honestly, it's a really nice day tonight, honestly. I mean, it's just enjoy it while we can because things are going to change soon. It is fall. But it's in the 70s right now. So honestly, not too bad for us in Florida.
Absolutely. And if you have any pictures of the weather, please send them to us on Facebook, post them on Facebook on our FSU Weather page. And we may even put them on the air to share with other people. And, so if you got some weather pictures, please share them with us.
Yep, exactly, because it's going to be a beautiful day outside tomorrow. So, well, it's been a fun day to talk about the weather. I'm Robert Zott here from FSU Weather.
And I'm student meteorologist David Stoltz.
And we thank you for tuning into us tonight. Same time, same place tomorrow. Make sure you keep watching us.